It's 1981, the year that Ed, the high school quarterback and baseball state champ, marries Nora, the homecoming queen and head cheerleader. Married at 22, and then they both play the hand that they have been dealt. 10 years. 10 years of wanting something so badly that there was nothing left to do but to pull up a chair and to invite that ache in to sit down and stay a while. To let it accompany you to your friends' children's birthday parties because you didn't have your own darlings to bring. 10 years. 10 years of working and waiting, of keeping your friends' kids willingly, but waiting, of playing with nieces and nephews during the annual family beach trip with your right arm out and your left arm out, holding rafts as they all pile in thick and wade over the waves in mutual delight, but yet still waiting. It's no wonder they wanted me so. You see, the day that I was born, the Queen of England might as well have come for a visit because there was no greater spectacle than when Nora was wheeled out of the local hospital and the place of her employment. Coworkers, nurses, and doctors and friends alike lined the hallways, left and right, down every floor and every wing and all the way out that front lobby door, just to get a peek at that new pink baby in tow. And on that day, longing and anticipation was finally met with sweet culmination. You see, before I was born, I was wanted. When I was born, I was celebrated. After I was born, I was sung over. Morning after morning, the new mom and dad would creep into the nursery to greet their daughter along with the new day. Every morning, they would peer over the crib and sing their good morning song that went like this. Now this is our way to start anew. And I would burst forth and say, day. Our cadence of mutual delight every morning. Every morning. Now, every morning, I'm greeted with a song, but it's an alarm tune, the courtesy of my iPhone, after which hitting snooze a couple of times, I must confess, a consuming silence envelops. Silence. Silence. Every day brings a new day of silence, of question, and a space of mystery that's both terrific and terrifying. I am not married, and with that current reality, it brings a lot of possibility and a lot of question, and sometimes some moments of awkwardness that are thrust upon me that I have to dance around, such as being at a local neighborhood event during COVID when we're outside, and a neighbor comes up and just assumes that my one-day-old neighbor happens to be my husband. We're standing near each other, we're kind of near the same age, so I must be married, right? But it's in those spaces, in that question, that fear likes to creep in. And fear sounds a little bit like this. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you don't have a husband. Hmm. Yeah. And come a little bit closer. Did you hear? You're alone. Hmm. It's funny, in the midst of, being with people, fear comes in with that accusation. It's not that fun in the moment, by the way. I also don't have children. And while I don't yet know what the word mommy feels like, or to bestow upon someone sonship, or having a daughter, I am loving the word neighbor. But fear comes in, especially wafting on the breeze of all of the dog walking dads, and with their carriages and their babies in the midst of COVID. Kudos to them, though, for getting out. And fear says, oh yeah, you don't have children, and aren't you a little late on that one? And are you even a woman? Accusation. I also am currently not a homeowner. There's not really a felt sense of permanence really in any area of my life right now, and not, a place that I specifically want to commit to right now. So I'm a renter, and I can move anywhere. I'm currently slowly, but hopefully surely, learning Portuguese, and I love my neighborhood. I have a home. But fear says, you're not a homeowner. And everyone you know, they are. Didn't you see all of those pictures on Instagram? All of those couples with the yard sign in front of the house, and don't they look so happy? You're a renter. Accusation coming in through mystery. 22. When I was 22, I remember being at a bridal shower, which would soon become a very frequent weekend occurrence. And I just so happened to be sitting at a table full of married women. There were probably about 5. And as the bride is opening her gifts, and, the scribe is there ready to write down and record what's been given, a conversation like this begins to ensue at the table that I'm at. Oh yeah, I registered for that too. I love that pattern. So enjoyed it. Oh yes, I registered for something similar to that. However, mine was from Pottery Barn, and literally every single woman, it was like a domino effect, goes around the table and proceeds to share what they had registered for, unbeknownst to them that I had nothing to contribute to the conversation in that moment. So thankfully, the cake had already been cut and served, so there was something for me to do. So I proceeded to fork a bite of cake and eat it, and ponder on the hodgepodge of plates and bowls and cups that I had inherited from my roommate's parents. I've also inherited my great-grandmother's silver that I use every single day. Because why banish it to a cupboard to not be enjoyed? And actually, I've also been gifted, just kind of happenstance, one of my best friends' her side of the family's wedding china because there wasn't enough space in their cupboard for hers and her husband's mother's. It looked too crowded. So she gifted it to me one day. And I love to entertain. I love having people over on my porch for brunch. And something that I enjoy doing is letting people that come pick out what plates they would like to use as we eat together. Or if I'm making a cocktail, why don't you pick out your glass that you want to use? So it's been a blessing to create. But speaking of plates, I also don't have people to regularly eat dinner with. That's not a part of the rhythm of my life at this point, which is such a stark contrast from how I grew up with mom and dad and Sissy and I around the table, eating dinner together, going around and sharing our highs and our lows, our rhythm of our family. So what do I do now in that silence and in that downtime that I didn't personally choose? I do the next best thing that I can. And oftentimes that involves going on walks. And so I walk around my neighborhood, and for better or for worse, which I will let you decide if you ever come on a walk with me, I literally say hey to every single person I meet. I just can't help it. It's who I am. And it can make for some really long walks sometimes. But now, as a result, just within this year, I now know Sabra and Carol and Arlene and Mary. And these women have just been such rich blessings in my life. I've gotten to see their favorite pieces of art, celebrate 80th birthdays. I've gotten to see pictures of their daughters and their daughters performing and singing, their wedding pictures. I've gotten to cook in a kitchen filled with French cooking music all the way to the ceiling, as I was told, which makes complete sense now, that the secret to baking is to keep your dry and your wet ingredients separate. I mean, who knew? I would have spent the rest of my life not knowing that. You know, it's so ironic. So ironic. We fear silence. We fear silence and stillness. And we can't be still enough to bear witness to our own formlessness. It terrifies us. The empty space on our calendar, the lack of husband or child, the anxiety over, am I going to get that promotion, or what career pathway am I going to take? But, you know, perhaps we're meant to thrive and maybe even come alive in the mystery. I've heard that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Fear likes to enter in to the holiness of silence with accusation and rob me of my mystery. And fear is a relentless pursuant. It does not give up so easily. It won't. But, and there's always a good but. You know what? I've tasted just enough to begin to believe that there is a new kind of song being poured out into the silence. And there's a beauty that's reserved just for the spaces of mystery. So I'll continue to turn my face towards the silence to taste and embrace, and to taste and embrace. And so maybe, just maybe, fear becomes but a distant, far off memory.